YouTube world? My name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. And today we are going to be doing a ranking of all 7 Deadpool and Wolverine films. I was actually going to do a separate video ranking Deadpool films, Wolverine films, but that would kind of be a little bit too much. I'll just cram them all together. So with that said, let's go and get started ranking all 7 Deadpool and Wolverine films. And X-Men Origins Wolverine, I think, is a very flawed movie. Of course, you know, you get some cool action, but the story is just all over the place. There's no way Patrick Stewart could be in the timeline of 1979 and helping these kids and standing when he got kicked off in the 1960s, shot in the spine. There's also just plenty of dumb stuff with Weapon X. The way they did Deadpool was kind of weird, so it just is bad on all cylinders.
Get it.
And so I included this film because it is kind of a movie. And for me, I think Once Upon a Deadpool is a good PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, but the problem is, I don't really feel like we need a version of Deadpool 2 that's PG-13. Because that ruins all the stuff that Deadpool is. Now, they've made Deadpool work in a PG setting or a setting that's for kids. He appeared on an episode of Ultimate Spider-Man, and he was like fighting with Taskmaster and all that, and he made it work. And he was breaking the fourth wall and everything. But in this one, it just kind of, like, there's bleeping scenes with Fred Savage that I thought were funny, and Fred Savage is the standout of the movie. But it just doesn't really spark anything new because you are just going to go watch the original version of Deadpool 2. But it is still somewhat good.
Drop that.
And the Wolverine, I think, is good, but it's very flawed. On the positives, I think that this one actually kind of ups the action when it comes to, like, samurai, and we're in kind of like in Tokyo and all this. We meet Yukio and stuff like that, and we're continuing this character after The Last Stand. I think there's a lot of story you could actually tell with that. It just kind of feels weird because we have a Wolverine that's suffering from, you know, the death of Jean Grey, and he's, like, not healing as well anymore, which I think was used better in Logan as a plotline since he's old and he's getting cut up a lot. But this one, it just didn't really work. The villains themselves were kind of forgettable, so it's also kind of forgettable for me. So, of course, Deadpool 2 is, of course, a very fun movie. It has all the action like the first film, all the irreverence comedy. It also has just great emotionalness and stuff like that. When it comes to the story, it kind of does a lot, where you have Wade dealing with the death of Vanessa, him trying to make a family, him trying to do X-Force, and then trying to save this kid. And there's some fun stuff in there with Cable and Colossus fighting Juggernaut, and of course Domino and Peter and all of that stuff, and seeing Terry Crews. All of that stuff was fun. But it just feels like they're doing too much to where it's a little bit too much scattered. So it's good, but it has a little bit too much going on. And yeah, after thinking about it a little bit, I was thinking the original Deadpool doesn't have as many quotable things. This one kind of does, and I was thinking of it as the first time watching it and how good it was. And Deadpool Wolverine, I had to put it down a little bit because it's not as good of a story because of the way everything worked out, but everything that it delivered, it was really good on. Just the chemistry between Deadpool and Wolverine was fantastic. The cameos in here were actually pretty good, and it was also just a really good send-off to the Marvel Fox universe, and I thought it did just a really good job. I've already posted my review, so you can go check that out. But yeah, it's another great Deadpool. And yeah, after rethinking it, yeah, I think Deadpool 1 is still actually the best Deadpool movie, as The story is very simple. A guy falling in love with a girl, he finds out he has cancer, so he tries to go do something to cure that cancer, but actually that turns him into a superhero, and now he is going on a revenge story to find that guy to fix him so he can get back with his girlfriend. And all of that creates for fun storytelling with amazing action that is along with great comedy, and it all builds in to it being a R-rated film. And that's so great. And Ryan Reynolds is perfect as Deadpool. There's some quotable characters there's some great characters with Dupinder and Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. The villain, he's kind of forgettable, but he's still kind of memorable in some ways. So, I would still say this is actually one of the better X-Men movies and one of the most unique films of all time.
Drop that.
And Logan is still one of the best Deadpool and Wolverine films. It doesn't quite feature Deadpool, but it does feature a old man Logan Wolverine. And I think that this film handled a lot of great things. One of the things that I love the sort of Western type feel that this movie gets, and I also just loved that it was pretty emotionless. That it doesn't start out happy. It starts out pretty depressing, as you have this old man who can't work his claws right like he used to, and he's just kind of on his death days, and he's dealing with a older Patrick Stewart and getting very powerful seizures, and it's just such a powerful movie. Plus, the action is violent. The story is simple, but it makes it work in being realistic, and scenes are real. And as soon as some scenes can get calm, like the scene with the pipe guys, and then Patrick Stewart's Professor X dies, everything just goes down to shit, and it's like it just keeps good. You think things good's gonna happen, and then it just gets worse. And that's the thing I love about it, and the way that you're able to send it off is like, they don't do the usual formula. They actually found a new way to tell a film story that's emotional, but also enjoyable for comic book fans. So I thought this was a great film, and I even rewatched it, and I'm like, yeah, this film is great. Like, it's really, really good. So yeah, I loved Logan. And that is my ranking of all 7 Deadpool and Wolverine films. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.